You're tuning into Relationship Wednesday, where we expose the lies, set fire to the bullshit, and show you what real love should actually feel like. This is the Bad Influence Podcast, the podcast they warn you about. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas, and today we're cutting through manipulation, codependency, and toxic patterns with a machete. If you're tired of walking on eggshells in your relationship, it ends now. Raw truth, real growth. Let's get into it. So I have a simple question for you guys. How the hell can you trust someone's relationship advice when their own love life is a chaotic dumpster fire? Right? That's a simple question. And I think that's a question that everyone needs to ask themselves if you're starting to follow someone else's relationship advice. So let's talk about that brutal truth today. You're scrolling to TikTok, seeing these relationship gurus with perfect lighting, slick editing, and crystal clear audio dishing out love advice like candy, right? Yet, behind those flawless reels, half of them can't keep a partner around long enough to make breakfast. I'm not throwing shade. No, I'm not. But let's get this clear right now. Being good at giving relationship advice does not automatically mean you've mastered relationships. And that's the first myth we gotta kill today. A football coach doesn't have to be Tom Brady to lead a team to victory. Sometimes an outsider's perspective can spot patterns that someone in the trenches can't see. And that's a truth, a big truth. Now, there's a catch. And it's a big damn catch. The advice you hear isn't bullshit because the advisor is single. It's bullshit if they pretend they're flawless. Authenticity is the game changer. If they're not real about their struggles, they're selling fantasies, not solutions. If someone's transparent about the relationship wreckage, where they failed, why they stumble, what they learn, that's gold. That's gonna give you more knowledge than anything else in life. Pain turning to wisdom is powerful, but pain turning to pretend perfection is pathetic. I've known people who are terrible at taking their own advice, but brilliant at spotting toxic patterns. Probably you know somebody like that. It's not about their love life status. It's about their level of self-awareness. Can they admit their fuck-ups? Or are they just hiding behind slick marketing? Imagine this. It's 2013. A small windowless office in LA. A man is sitting in front of a webcam recording a video titled How to Attract the Woman of Your Dreams. He's calm, poised, articulate. The camera loves him. His words flow like butter. It's all about confidence, emotional availability, respect, trust. His inbox is exploding with thank yous. TikTok didn't exist yet, but YouTube did, and his subscribers were rising by the thousands. Outside the room, his fiancée is sitting alone at a cafe, wondering why he ghosted her text. Again. What nobody knew, what he barely admitted to himself, was that the same man preaching connection was terrified of intimacy. The moment someone got too close, he pulled away. He knew what shouldn't be done, but couldn't do it. His words were precise, his advice was gold, but his life, a slow motion implosion of almost what ifs and emotionally disconnected relationships. He hated himself for it because he wasn't a fraud. He believed in the work, but belief doesn't always translate into behavior. Wisdom doesn't always guarantee courage. One night, after yet another breakup, this one with a woman who actually loved him through the chaos. He sat on his bathroom floor at 3 a.m. Not crying, not drunk, just numb. His phone buzzed, a new email. Another thank you from a fan. Your advice saved my marriage. It hit him like a punch. He whispered out loud, why can I help everyone but myself? That moment cracked something open. He realized what he'd avoided for years. He was teaching from the head, not from the heart. He was brilliant at dissecting relationship dynamics, but terrified of being fully seen. Because he'd never healed the wounds he didn't think were relevant to the work. Turns out, they were the most relevant. That night became a line in the sand. He stopped pretending, which is great. On his next video, he led with this. Before I give you advice today, let me confess something. I've failed in every single relationship I've had. Not because I didn't know better, but because I didn't feel worthy of love that lasts. That's what I'm working on. And if you are too, let's work through it together. He lost thousands of subscribers that week, but the ones who stayed, they became loyal for life. Because now he wasn't just a talking head, he was a mirror. That man could be any relationship guru you see online. It might be even you. The point is this. Insight without honesty is performance, but insight with vulnerability, that's fucking leadership. You don't need a perfect love story to share wisdom. You need the balls to be real about your pain. That's what separates posers from guides. So when you hear someone giving advice, don't ask, are they in a perfect relationship? Ask, are they telling me the truth? Because truth, even when spoken from the rubble, is more valuable than fake perfection polished for clicks. And if you're the one giving advice, don't hide your mess. Use it. That's how you earn trust. Not with a ring, not with a filter reel, but with raw, unfiltered truth. I'll trust someone with battle scars before someone who claims they've never lost a fight. Because relationship advice isn't a fairy tale. It's gritty, messy, and real. This is one of the reasons why I'm very vulnerable about everything that I have gone through with my wife in my marriage. Having to go through couples counseling and dealing with that and all of this, because that's what made my relationship. That's what made my relationship better. That's what has gotten me to 10, almost 11 years of marriage. And not a lot of people can say that nowadays. It's true. I've known people that in the last 10 years that I've been married, they've been married multiple times and divorced multiple times. And then they go online and then they talk about how you can mess up your relationship, but then they don't do anything about it. They keep making the same mistakes. But here's the thing. The best coaches often come from a place of failure. Why? Because failure forces introspection. Failure forces humility. Failure forces growth. And let's face it, love without growth isn't love. It's stagnation. Beware the so-called guru who never shares their dark side. If they're only serving glittery self-help quotes but never reveal their shadows, they're not guiding, they're performing. Relationship advice shouldn't feel like some cheesy Hallmark card. If it does, throw it out. Love is messy. If your advisor never touches on uncomfortable realities, they're not helping, they're hypnotizing. Here's a gut check for you. If someone's advice never mentions personal accountability, owning mistakes, or confronting ugly truths, run. They're not a guru, they're a poser. Maybe the reason the relationships keep imploding isn't because their advice sucks. Maybe it's because relationships require more than good advice. They require courage, consistency, vulnerability, and brutal self reflection. Being good at identifying relationship patterns doesn't automatically translate into having the strength to apply it yourself. Recognizing the truth and living it are two different battles. Sometimes the best advice comes from those who've lost everything because they understand exactly how things break down. They know every dark alley of failure, and that knowledge is priceless. Does it mean you blindly trust someone whose relationships are always failing? Hell no. It means you listen critically, you question deeply, you filter truth from bullshit. The point isn't to discard someone's wisdom because they're single. It's to demand authenticity from them. Are they real about their struggles, or are they fronting for the gram? Relationships are not about success or failure as labels, because a lot of people use those labels in relationships. My relationship is a success. That's what they put on the gram, right? They're about growth. If someone grows after heartbreak, their wisdom can be gold. But if they're repeating the same mistakes, their advice is worthless noise. So look for vulnerability. Is the person willing to show their flaws, own their baggage, and highlight their fuck ups as lessons learned? Check their ego. A good relationship advisor isn't here to flex. They're here to teach, guide, and inspire growth. If their message feels more like a flex than guidance, ditch them. Are they humble enough to admit when they don't know something? The best advisors understand limits. They're open, curious, and forever students, not experts with unshakable egos. So if someone's single and teaching love advice, they damn well better own their status openly. I respect the hell out of a person who says, I'm single, I've messed up, here's what I learned. That's strength. That's truth. That's leadership. Perfection doesn't exist. Not in love, not in leadership, not in coaching. The minute someone pretends otherwise, they lose all credibility. Let's be freaking honest. People crave authenticity because it's rare. Don't judge advisors purely by their relationship status. Judge them by their honesty, accountability, and depth of reflection. Can they talk openly about loneliness, rejection, heartbreak? If they can't, they are not qualified. Real advice comes from real experiences, not shallow theories. So stop chasing perfect images. Start embracing real growth. Question deeply, trust consciously, and seek authenticity above all else. The goal isn't flawless relationships, it's authentic, courageous ones. Learn from those brave enough to teach from their scars, not their masks. Act on this today. Demand truth. Demand authenticity. Choose growth over glamour. If you're giving advice, start with the raw truth. That's what changes lives. That's what will help your clients, your friends, your family, even your own relationships. That's what people crave right now. And that's why people will listen to you. And again, like I said, I'm very honest to answer the questions people ask me about my marriage. Because marriage is not easy. Especially when your wife gets sick or your partner gets sick. That's something that people don't realize. I've met people that are on social media giving relationship advice that have gone to the same situation that I have gone to, where their partners get sick, and what do? They leave their partners, but they don't talk about that. And I honestly believe that they should be able to talk about that, because then it shows at what point you could leave the relationship if you're not willing to step up Or if you know for sure that you cannot do anything to help them and you're just going to get in their way. But no, they don't talk about that. So if you're giving advice and if you're literally looking for advice, if you're giving the advice, be truthful to yourself and to others. Talk about your flaws and all your problems and what you have learned. And if you're looking for the advice, pay attention to what they say about their lives. Ask them, how did you mess up and what you learned from it? And remember, when you're looking for advice, the choice is yours. Same thing when you're giving advice. And that's it for today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out an episode. And have a great day.